38 days, 13 hours, and 21 minutes. We have a moose pelt curing, and frankly, we need to get out of here. I'm going to cook a little bit more of the moose that we killed a few episodes back in this episode, just to have some meat to get me through life. I have some moose meat right here already. And of course, despite the low condition of the moose meat up there, when we cook it, its condition is going to improve because that's just generally what happens. But we are going to have to get moving, I would imagine, by the end of this episode. Now, you might have seen when I was starting the recording there is a bear out wandering by the Riken, and it's pretty damn cold at the moment. It feels like -11. We have some wood up by the moose, and I think I'm going to go ahead and go up there because it is cold, but we've got enough wood up there that I can justify starting a fire. This weather is really nice. It's cold, but it's clear. And there's no snow. As you might recall, at the end of the last episode, there was a little bit of a flurry on the air. No wind, just a bit of a falling flurry. If that counts as a flurry. Yeah, it counts as a flurry. It doesn't have to be windy for it to be a flurry. But anyway, it was just a little bit of snow and it stopped. So we're at the beginning of a new day. We just need to start a fire to where we don't freeze to death in the early morning. And before long, I'm just going to carry the curing moose hide. Obviously, it's not going to be curing while I'm carrying it, but I'm going to carry it with me as we leave Desolation Point. I would just like to get a little bit more cooking skill out of all this meat that we have harvested. And for that matter, because we have most of the meat in a new location, we don't actually have to go over to the moose. And the moose is actually gone now. I'm not surprised by that. Let's see if there's a spot back here that would be... No, I was kind of hoping there might be a hollowed out tree trunk near here. But there's not. I'll tell you what we can do, though. Let me go pick up some of that wood that I put down. We're going to start losing a bit of condition due to the fact that we're wandering around. Feels like -32 at the moment. And the wind is kicking up. See, the moment I get up here near all of my kindling, that's when the wind starts. Okay. Thanks a lot, game. That's when it starts to get a little bit less receptive to a fire. This is just not a good location to have a fire, really. Let's stand behind various tree trunks and see if we can figure out which direction it's going in, at least. I mean, it seems to be blowing this way. So... tree trunks might not be big enough in this case. These are pretty massive trees, so can you block the wind, pretty please? That would be nice. Alright, it seems not. Alright, so I've got all that wood on me. I think what I want to do is go ahead and carry this meat back down this direction. Try to avoid predators. I'm going to start by just taking the wood back down. If the wind hadn't kicked up, I would have just started a fire as planned. God, it's a beautiful sunrise. But I don't think we have much of a choice. The issue with carrying a bunch of raw meat down, though, is that that's going to increase my attractiveness to predators in the area. And we can hear them. They're definitely here. I just want a better place to cook the rest of this moose meat. And preferably cook it outside.
No, looks like I survived another night.
Yeah, you did. As a matter of fact, you survived it in the last episode. Okay, the moose hide's already 16% cured, you can see there. Alright, I know we have that old bedroll on the floor. I'm just going to stand right here. And drop all this wood. It's not a lot, but just want to get my stuff a little bit closer. So part of me wants to rest a little bit before I go back out there, just to recover a bit of condition. Let's see, I don't have anything on me. There's food outside that I can eat when I get back in. Let's sleep for, let's say, 4 hours. We'll warm up, we'll recover a bit of condition, and it'll be later in the day. It does not appear that we have a blizzard. That's good news. Where did I come in? Not here. I got turned around somehow. The moose hide's there. Oh, right here. Okay. Okay. A little bit better now. Not nearly as frighteningly cold. But I do want to bring that moose hide, or that moose meat down to a safer spot. So we're going to still focus on that. And what I can do is get some cooking skill out of cooking all of that meat. Make good use of our time. But then we're not going to hang out much longer after that. One of the advantages of bringing it down here is that I could start a fire in the external warehouse area without actually going into the whaling station. And that would allow me to stay outside while cooking, even perhaps at night. And I could start a fire that I could then read by and just get a lot done while cooking. And then once the meat has been taken care of... Oh, hi, bear. All right, that's going to be something to pay attention to. Once the meat's been taken care of, we're just going to take the hide, even though it's not going to be done curing, and we're just going to head back towards Coastal Highway. And then we might let it cure somewhere there. But... okay, so we've got some cooked meat here. Forgot about this. The question is, how much of this stuff do we want to carry at one time? I'm going to drink a little bit of water so as to free up some weight. How many pieces is that, and are they all full size? They are. See, that's a lot of moose meat. And we are now officially a lot more attractive to predators in the area like that bear. So I've got to move fast. The wolves around here are going to be a little bit stealthier too, because they tend to silently stalk when they can smell this much fresh meat. Fresh meat in more than one sense in this case. But we're just going to have to be cautious about this. Okie dokie. How am I getting back up there? There we go. Okay, there's that. Let's say sleep for another hour, just to recover our warmth. And a little bit of condition, but mainly warmth. It seems like the weather might be getting slightly worse. Yeah, that's really annoying. It's midday. Desolation Point is just not a particularly warm zone, I'm finding. I suppose I was kind of hoping for a slightly more similar day to the day we had yesterday, which was that foggy, kind of still cooking day. Instead, we have this miserably cold, no snow, just lots of wind. And very low atmospheric pressure. Therefore, feels like negative 20. Negative 20. That, ladies and gentlemen of the Legion, is a hell no. Not interested in being that cold. Keeping my head on a swivel for any nearby bears or wolves. Yeah, we're going to lose some condition this time because we just don't really have a choice. The good news about everything we're doing now is we're passing the time. Definitely, and we need to pass time because it takes 10 days, 10, to cure a moose hide. I know, you need a fire. You need a fire, you're right, you do. All right, now. Picked up a little bit more that time. Still need to be careful, because this time I don't have any eyes on any predators, so it's like, where are you bastards? I know you're around. I've seen you multiple times while walking around over the past few episodes, even since the series came back. So it's like, I know you're here. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of sprinting, because that'll also tire us out a little bit and give us more of a reason to rest. Went the wrong slope. There we go.
I'm gonna die if I don't warm up soon.
All right. Back inside we go. We're going to rinse and repeat a couple more times and then do what we can once we can have a fire in a more sheltered location. And the fire will, of course, help prevent any wolves from getting too close, especially if we put it in a good strategic location. So, yeah, let's sleep for 2 more hours. I'm going to guess that things are about to get a little stormier. That would be my assessment of our current weather situation. How's the moose hide? 18% cured. Okay, the wind has died down. It's a little bit better now. Also, it seems a little bit... I don't know how much of a weather indicator this is. It seems a little bit less bright. Or maybe not. No, it's not less bright. Okay. I was thinking maybe that was an indicator that it's about to get a little cloudier, perhaps foggier. And I wouldn't mind if it were foggier, because fog means warmth. Not always, but it at least means warmer than we are right now. Let's put it that way. Again, this is not the best location to have killed a moose. So we're managing this as best we can and trying to do it smartly. Okay, let's get the cooked meat that remains. All right, I picked up a lot more that time. I'm getting a little bit more brazen. That's because so far, my approach seems to be working. We're transporting this entire moose to a much safer space. And I am going to go ahead and just sprint as I do this. It's tempting to sprint both ways because I can exhaust myself, and that gives me the opportunity to rest more and pass more time. Okay. I'm going to try and keep these somewhat separated. Step back inside. After we finish this, which is going to take a while, but after we finish it, we will be, I believe, as I mentioned, heading to Pleasant Valley for the first time. Because I think that's the most sensible zone. If you can ever call Pleasant Valley a sensible zone to visit, that's the most sensible right now. So why don't we go for 3 hours of sleep? We will definitely be rested, regain some necessary condition. And I really am hoping every time I rest here that... Hang on, let's definitely eat. All right, still have some of that. I really am hoping every time I rest here that the weather improves when I step outside. Not really. I mean, I suppose I shouldn't complain. There's no blizzard, right? But in this particular case, we've just got this atrociously cold weather. Lots of wind chill. Not a cloud in the sky. I keep feeling like there's going to be a wolf to the right over here because there's been a wolf down in that little alcove. So that's where I'm most wary about running into a predator. The wind will be at my back as I run this time, though, which is good. As long as it doesn't, randomly change direction for no good reason whatsoever. Which the Long Dark has certainly never done to me. Why would I make such a baseless accusation? Shame on me. Shame indeed. Really? Not sure where he's going to come over the ridge. There he is. Alright, so the flare didn't seem to stop him. I still hear him advancing. There he is. Yeah, flare didn't stop him at all. Alright, wolf. You want to tango? Let's tango. I just wanted to get some flat ground so I could do this. Okay. Well, remember that our wildlife regeneration settings are actually... respawn rates are lower than usual. So that's the wolf that I was just talking about. Seriously? Maybe it wasn't.
Very much more.
This is what I get. I've been tempting fate. As long as I don't get flanked by wolves on two sides right now, I'll be fine. There you are. Whew. Alright, I'm still hearing more wolves. That's the second time in a few episodes, in a few shots, where as I've killed a wolf... Let's pick up that flare. I've heard another one run off. And I'm sure you guys are hearing that too. So I don't know where it is. It was probably behind me as I suspected. But the main reason that second one approached was no doubt the smell that I was mentioning. So let's sprint across the ice here. And that's most of the moose meat. I mean, we can hang out at this point. I can go back up and get the moose or the wolf hides if I want to. Not that I need them. I can get the guts, which might be better. But let's go ahead and just toss that. Flare didn't end up being much good. I threw it to keep the wolf at a distance and then kept moving, so it didn't particularly use that in the most efficient way possible. But as you recall, we have plenty of flares. So I'm not worried about it. Let's just put it that way. I'm going to sleep for 2 more hours. And because the respawn... Oh, there's the blizzard. Okay. Well, now that the blizzard's here, we can do other stuff. Okay, hang on. Let's step back inside. I'm actually going to grab a bunch of the moose meat as well. And you know what? We're not going to cook outside this time. Well, yeah, we are. I'm going to stick to the plan. Yes, we are. For a second, I was like, we can use one of the cooking pits inside, but we can still have a fire out here, relatively protected from the wind. I don't know how well protected the fire would be in here, though. Doesn't seem like it really would be. I don't know. I like this idea less and less. Yeah, not really a fan. We're going to take some moose meat inside. Because it doesn't take particularly long to get where we need to go.
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Okay. And now that we're here... There's, of course, some more wood around that we can use to keep a fire going. So we can start this fire, start cooking some meat, put some stuff on it, and then shuttle stuff back and forth. All while that moose hide is curing. And then we have Pleasant Valley to look forward to. Yay. Knowing that the next update to story mode might also bring some updates to survival mode and Pleasant Valley. Kind of makes me sad in a way because I want to explore Pleasant Valley as it's going to be. Part of me wants to wait to go to Pleasant Valley for that reason, and maybe we will. But I don't know how much longer it's going to be before that update arrives. That's the other thing. Okay. None of this is a particularly good chance. It's because I don't have any sticks. Although, I could get a stick relatively easily. By doing that. There we go, that's better. All right, let's go ahead and go for a wood match. 85% chance is a chance that I will take. And we're going to start some moose meat cooking on this here fire. I knew that blizzard was going to kick in before long. I just didn't know how quickly it would arrive. The last one gave us a little bit more warning because there was some snow on the air, and then a few hours passed, and then it kicked in. So maybe we were inside while the snow kind of started to appear. But let's add, first of all, our reclaimed wood. I'm going to drop the rest of this fuel. And we are now going to put all that on the fire. How much moose meat do I have on me at the moment that's cooked? None. But the moose meat that I do have on me, I don't want to completely spoil. So we're going to run back outside and put it in the snow. Like that. And then go back and get more. But we just have to do it relatively quickly, because it's not like we have all the time in the world to do this.
Whew, this pack is getting kind of heavy.
Starting to tire myself out doing all that sprinting. So I probably should rest for a bit. But I think we're almost done moving this stuff. So I would prefer to just get it done. Okay. That is almost all of it. And on that note, I'm going to stop this episode here. We have that moose meat cooking just beyond the giant whale skeleton right here. And then in the next one, we're going to get through pretty much all of that meat, I imagine. We're going to need to break some planks down in here to keep the fire going, but that's not going to be a problem. And then we were going to try and stay outside to avoid cabin fever. So now cabin fever is a little bit more of a risk. Hopefully that won't become a problem in the next episode or two while we are trying to finish up our business in Desolation Point. But as I mentioned a few times in this episode, we are not going to wait for that moose hide to cure before we move. We've gotten a good bit of it cured. It's about a fifth of the way there right now, and that's 2 of its 10 days. But it needs 10 days altogether, and we just need to get it in a more centralized location at least before we leave it somewhere to cure and then go elsewhere, because Desolation Point is just not going to work. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. New episodes are coming out every day at 1 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.